So today, I don't know if you know, well, it's actually not today. It was this weekend, but whatever. We're in the weeds.
Mm-hmm.
March 1st is Plan a Solo Vacation Day.
Ooh.
So they say it's an opportunity for you to get out of your mundane everyday life and do something completely new, which is definitely the case. Think of it as making one activity from your bucket list. You know, you can just mark that off. You don't need anybody else to just go do it yourself. You don't need to call your friends or look for groups to travel with. Just go. Now, this came at an interesting time because Saturday was March 1st. I woke up Saturday morning and I was like, woof, I need to clear my head talking about all these things we have to do. I just had so much swirling.
Yeah.
Probably could have taken a vacation day.
Oh, yeah.
But I actually am one of those maybe rare people that are obsessed with their family. And I never want to leave Jay and Cody because we're just,
Oh, yeah.
so well.
Yeah.
Like we're the three amigos. Like
It's a package deal.
It is. We are a package deal. And I get a lot of shit from some people about that. But I won't go there. Yeah. No, we're a package deal. So I never like to be away from them when I don't have to be. But I needed like an hour. So I was like, all right, I'm going to go for like a 4-mile hike and just clear my head.
Yeah.
So that was my vacation, if you will. But I do like that amount of alone time. I like alone time. I just don't like being away from my family. But I needed to clear my brain. I didn't even have my AirPods in. Nothing. I just needed to go through the crap floating around up there. I do think there's nothing wrong with doing solo stuff. A vacation day, going to shows, like Dan just said, going to shows solo.
I went to a show solos Friday night. See the Spazmags at Dan's Bar, Walnut Creek.
You love them.
I do love those guys. They're so
cute.
much fun because I just love their covers. So if you don't know Spazmatics, it's like a franchise. There's like several of those type of covers bands. They're the NorCal Bay Area one.
Yeah.
There's one in Southern California. I think there's one in Texas. It's like a franchise. But yeah, it's musicians who dress up like in nerdy attire, and they just do a bunch of great covers like new wave, classic rock, alternative rock, some hip hop. It's really fun, and I love these guys. They're listeners, but also it's just I love the songs that they cover. So it's like my opportunity to see. I love growing up. I was a huge new wave fan.
Yeah.
So to hear a lot of these new wave songs live via covers, it's fine. I love it, and they're just such a fun live band.
Yeah.
I would love to do something with them in the future. It's just they're really cool, but. As you said, like Friday was a really long day for me. And I started taking like a power nap, but then I got up and I was like, oh, I don't want to waste my Friday. Like I have an opportunity to stay up late, enjoy myself, enjoy my personal time on technically a non-school night, a Friday night.
Right.
I was like, I don't want to go to waste. So I got up out of bed and then quickly just went over to Walnut Creek and saw the Spazmags. But I was there by myself to see them. But
does it bother you to do things like that by yourself?
No, sometimes it's just nice to be on my own schedule.
Right.
Like, I want to go home right now.
You don't have to wait. Yeah,
I
go
don't
home.
I don't have to worry about anyone. Like, are you ready
This is
to
why
go?
I refuse to drive places with people because I almost always want to duck out early. I'm the queen of the Irish goodbye.
Yeah.
No offense to anybody, but when I want to go, if I can't go, I feel trapped and get like claustrophobic.
Well,
so I don't. Sorry, Mother Earth, I do not carpool with people.
Yeah.
To like anything.
No, but
I'm on my own.
Yeah.
I'm a solo girl.
Well,
I got a solo mission.
Well, that's the thing. Oh, even like, was it Danny Elfman concert?
Yeah.
I went there by myself.
Yeah.
So that's my thing. It's like, for me, as a single man, if like I don't have a date or like my brother can't make it or some other friends can't make it, I have no problem going to an event by myself. I'm like, I'm not let these tickets go to waste.
Yeah.
If anything, it's extra room for myself in the seats.
Yeah.
I got an extra
there you
seat
go.
open. I can lay my jacket down.
You can put your snacks in the other seat.
I can spread my legs apart.
Yeah, totally.
And so I have no problem going to events, concerts, anything like that on my own.
Yeah.
It's just, and who knows, like sometimes you just run into people you might know. I mean, and then you kind of.
Especially in the Bay Area music scene, we know everybody.
Yeah. I went to a Day to Remember, Oakland Arena. I was by myself, but I ran into some friends of ours from the radio industry and ended up sitting with them, and they had better seats. I took that.
That paid off.
That paid off totally. So, yeah, when it comes to that mindset, but I don't think I've ever done a solo vacation, though. I'm trying to think.
I've definitely never done a solo vacation. The most solo stuff I've probably ever done would be like a half-day spa day kind of situation where I'll go get like a massage and facial alone, which is glorious.
I guess technically I went to Las Vegas by myself for SummerSlam, but I was kind of, covering that for work. I was like doing interviews and stuff.
But that's kind of.
But I traveled by myself.
Yeah.
And that was cool
Yeah.
in that sense. So yeah, I've done traveling by myself, but not necessarily like a vacation. I do feel a little guilty. Like I'm enjoying myself when like I could have my brother, my dad there to partake as well.
Yeah, so it's a little codependent, and I will agree to that. I think a lot of people, when they think about me and Jay and Cody as a package deal, they might think codependency. And I get that because we're just all kind of obsessed with each other. But like, for instance, in a couple weeks, we're going to go to New Orleans because we have our vow renewal ceremony. Right?
I know, yeah.
And
just remind
no pressure. Michaela, I'm putting RSVP pressure on him right now, live.
Oh.
Michaela's in charge of the guest list. So we're going to go. And I was like, oh, I should probably go a day or two early so I can get some stuff settled. And Jay was like, you're not going with me and Cody? And I was like, well, maybe just like by a day or two. And I'll just get a bunch of like the decor kind of stuff settled. And he was like, I can't fly with that. What are you talking about?
Me take care of Cody.
He was like, well, I think the Cody part, but he was like, who's like, I carry his passport. I have the boarding passes.
Okay.
I check our bag. Like,
Gotcha.
I just do a lot of that kind of stuff.
I do all that stuff for my brother.
Yeah,
so I know
exactly.
it's like, I know.
So like Jay, and I love doing it. I love taking
yeah.
care of our home like that and taking care of our plans. Like I've created a monster, but I think he was like, what? Now he does travel by himself for state line shows and things like that.
Yes,
Like he just drove to Southern California by himself. But I mean, he's a fully capable man. I'm not saying that, but it was just funny when I said I was going to fly and they could fly later. He was like, his eyes were this big around.
So it's easy for him to break away on its
right,
own.
exactly. Now you're falling into it. Yeah, now you know.
But
no.
when it's your
when
turn,
I'm gone,
no.
Yeah, what are you talking about? It was hilarious. So the headline is I'm not going by myself a few days early.
Okay.
Michaela, do it.
Okay.
I know. Go spend one night in NOLA by myself feels so strange. You know I'd end up at freaking Lafitte's in a purple drink. I'd be like, wow, Mama's night out. Dan, there's always snacks. There's always snacks, sir, and you can join us anytime. They need Mama. They do need Mama. Dan, you have a lot of kids. Like, do you take time off by yourself? Like, are you even able to? Because you got quite the crew, if you will. I mean, it's hard for parents to step away. It's just part of the gig. Or if your brother is also your child.
Yes, he's a man child.
No offense, Tommy.
No, take it. He fully knows that.
See, Jay knows too. It's fine.
Well, that's the thing. It's just, but it's a cool concept though, because I think if you're able to, I think it is kind of nice to break away from the norm, like your own reality, and go somewhere else by yourself and just experience life by yourself.
Yeah.
It's almost like if you're able to like even like not even turn your cell phone off, like really detach from the world.
Yeah.
Like how interesting that is. In a safe environment, travel somewhere, have your phone on you still, obviously, but like turn it off so like no one can reach you and really just go let loose and explore life like that.
Yeah.
To me, that's really cool. I've thought about that too. I was like, where would I go though if I did a solo vacation?
Well, you know what was interesting? When I went to Japan, that kind of accidentally happened. Do you remember? I went to Japan fully thinking I could connect to work. I took my laptop and everything.
Oh, yeah.
And when I got there, the VPN wouldn't connect. Nothing would connect. And I was like, cut the umbilical cord off.
Yeah.
And I had to text you. I was like, you're in charge, bro.
Yes.
Like, I got nothing. I can't do anything from here. That was weird.
It was weird. I'm sure, but at the same time was refreshing.
It was.
To a
And it
certain
needed
extent.
to happen. Yeah, you're
Yes.
right. But you know me, I'm not good with walking away from it. I have the radio station is on my phone at all times, which is a wild concept. But I literally, this is my umbilical cord. It's hard for me.
It's amazing though in the last 5 years, because here we are coming up on almost the 5-year anniversary of when COVID hit or shutdown started. How much has changed five years as far as technology goes, as far as working remote, doing stuff remotely, connecting with people, recording stuff from home, all that stuff.
Yep.
But yeah, like for me, I'm just thinking though, if I did a solo vacation, like I know like my brother, he would want to go somewhere hot. He could lay on a beach or by a pool and just be lazy in the warm sun. I don't necessarily like warm weather a lot. Like I like warm, sunny weather, but not like humid. Like I hate that.
You will not be a fan of New Orleans.
I know.
Then.
Oh no! When one time I was there, it was like August.
Oh
I
yeah,
think
that's
it was
the worst.
I walked
Nobody
down the
goes in
street
August.
half a block and I was sweating.
Yeah, it's the worst time of the year to go.
I remember
it's miserable.
I think that same trip we pulled up in one of those vans from the airport to the hotel, and the guy opened the door from the hotel to one of the workers. He's like, "Welcome to New Orleans, home of the Super Bowl champs, the New Orleans Saints."
Yeah.
And I said, "Well, we're from San Francisco, home of the 5-time Super Bowls,
you were that
the
guy.
49ers."
Oh, my God.
Like, you gonna rub it in my face?
Probably just wanted to slam the door in your face.
Mic drop.
Go back to the airport.
Turn this cab around.
Yeah, exactly.
But for me, it's like I would rather go to a place where I can do some exploring. If I'm going by myself, a place I can do exploring and like get some really cool pictures, some selfies in front of some cool monuments.
Okay, let me ask you this. When you're a traveler, because you and I have traveled for work together, but not just for fun. Well, no, that's not true. We did Disneyland together, but that's like a different thing. Like if you go, let's just say you go to Thailand, okay?
Yeah.
Would you rather go like lay on the beach and chill? Or are you like an adventure traveler where you're like, no, I'm going to go find an excursion of some sort and go check something out?
Right now, I mean, just being fully honest, right now with my body and my weight, I'd rather just be lazy by a pool or something. Yeah. But if I got into shape, I would love to do more of the adventure, exploring. But I know if I walked for an extended period of time, my back is going to start hurting, all that
Legs
stuff.
start hurting,
Yeah. So I'm just thinking like from that perspective. But like, for example, I went to Philadelphia last April.
Yeah.
And that was cool because going into that trip, Tonelli was like super excited because he's been there and he was like, think about it, that's where America started.
Yeah.
And so he's like, take it all in, check out all the cool monuments, landmarks. So one of the days my brother and I had an off day, we went around to like the old area where America started back in the day. Like these places were built in the 1700s or some areas got rebuilt, like replicate that.
Yeah.
So to me, that was cool. Like I'm in a different city, walking around, checking out these different buildings and artifacts. It's like, whoa, like I like taking it all in. Went to Ireland, Dublin, Ireland back in 2012. We did the broadcast from the Jameson distillery there. And as we were driving there, the tour guide said, "Oh, this is the oldest bar. It's over 800 years old." I mean, America, like we're barely a couple hundred years old. Like I can't do math in my head, but like 250 years old, roughly, whatever.
The oldest continuously running bar in the United States is in New Orleans, and it was like 1780 something.
Yeah. So we're coming up on, about 250 years old. Yeah. This bar is older than America.
Yeah, by a long shot.
So like, to me, that's cool. Like if I did like a solo trip, I want to go somewhere where I can explore, check out landmarks, historical places, things that you don't get to see all the time and has some big significance. So I would love to go to like London, like to Europe, places in Europe, like London, France, or Paris, I should say. I would love to go to Japan or China.
Japan is a trip.
I would love to go to Japan, like Tokyo,
Shanghai, China, I do highly recommend.
I would love to go to China as well.
Place.
So like these exotic destinations and
Thailand's my favorite. You would love Thailand.
I would love to go to Canada. I'd love to go
Never
explore
been there.
Canada. Or even Mexico. I've never been to Mexico before.
You've never been to Mexico?
No, I've only traveled outside the country once. It was
that's
that
right.
Ireland trip.
Yeah.
Like my passport's expired now. I need to renew it.
You need to redo that.
I know.
We got places to go, people to see.
I know. So
I will take you all over the place. I think this year, later in the fall, we're going to try Portugal.
Ooh.
Yeah, because my mom's turning 75, and I told her, I was like, I will pay for a trip wherever you want to go in the world. Your pick. And I think she's picking Portugal.
Okay.
Yeah, 75. It's a big one.
Wow. Just
right?
find the man. Portugal and the man.
You're such a dork.
Sorry, told that to our promotion director once. She didn't laugh.
Yeah, because she just went to Portugal. Quick check-in on the comments. Dan answered, not time off in the vacation sense, but I get to roll out for rock and roll, of course, when I want to.
Cool.
Yeah. Dan just happens to be in one of my absolute favorite bands of all time, not just Bay Area local bands, but Drawing Heaven. I love them so
They have a
so
show
much.
coming up, right?
Yeah, Dan, drop a show in the comments, bud.
Info.
We'll mention it.
Or is it with... No.
I can't keep up. Jay has so many things on the calendar. I'm like, if you tell me one more thing.
Because State Line Empire is now like,
everywhere.
Road tripping now.
Yes. They're like doing tour. They're like up to Grass Valley
Weekend
and down over here.
getaways,
Yeah, they're all over the place. It's a lot to keep up
You would
with.
die in Oklahoma.
Yeah, you would not survive in Oklahoma if you don't like the heat and or what you call it, humidity. Yeah, forget about it. You would die. Michaela's never been to Mexico. All right, well, that's it. We're planning a trip to Mexico.
All right, we're going to Mexico.
Mexico's easy. Like,
Totally.
I mean, you just, it's jump on a plane, a couple hours, you're there, and you just, I love the Mexican people so much. Like, you talk about welcoming. They're just they're like, come on in, here's a drink.
Oh, the food. Oh my God. The drinks, yeah.
I mean, you just put your toes in the sand. They give you a drink. They feed you the best food of your life, and you're home. I love it.
So, yeah, I think if you're able to, I think it's important to break away from the world that you live in, just the the going through the motions of life and do something different. If you're able to break
Yeah.
away from family, friends, and do a solo trip, I'm sure mentally that's a really good thing to do.
That's funny because, like, you say solo trip in my head, I think solo trip is me and Jay and Cody. And honestly, my mom travels.
It's like a
with us
Euro
most of it.
trip.
Yeah.
Was that song? Scotty doesn't know.
Yes, Scotty doesn't know.
No.
Everybody was posting that over the weekend.